This is a question from Shulamit, who is asking about pedal tones on guitar. Pedal tones, what it means is basically that you keep one note going, the same note, while you're playing either different chords or could be other single notes as well. Mm-hmm. Most often it's a bass note, and it doesn't have to be. It could be a high note also. Mm-hmm. It comes from the organ players. Organ players would press a pedal with their foot, keep a note going, and everybody's heard this, even though they don't realize what it is. They'll hold a bass note, and then they'll play chords over the bass note. If you've ever seen Phantom of the Opera, you've definitely heard this. So that's where the word pedal tone came from. It's a pedal on the organ. Now, on guitar, we do things a little differently. You see, on the organ, you can hold a note and it sustains. You can't do that on a guitar. You hold a note, you hit the note, and it just immediately starts dying away. Right. So what we usually do is play the same note over and over and keep it going.
Got it.
I love pedal tones, actually. I think it really adds to guitar playing, either short portions or longer portions. And I'm going to give you a few demonstrations now. This is by far just scratching the surface. But I think from these particular licks, all riffs, or whatever you want to call them, you can kind of get some ideas to even create your own. Right. A lot of the times what I do is I hear somebody else, I imitate them, and then I'll kind of massage it and change it. The first one, I'll take a fairly simple one. I'm going to use the low E as a bass note. By the way, on guitar, it's very common to use open strings, so it's much easier to keep an open string going while playing something else. So I'll start with the low E, which is common. Then I'll play an E chord on the high end. I'm playing a high three-note chord. So that was a good, very simple example of a pedal tone. I'm holding the bass note while I'm playing other chords over it. By the way, I was really playing fairly simple chords. That was an E, A, E, B, and then I played E, A, B again, just a different form of the B, an inversion actually, and then back to E. Fairly simple. Now, let's get a little more complex. I'm going to use the A bass note for this one. So I was using an interval of a sixth. I was just going down the scale. I made this into a minor and then finished on the A chord. I filled in a few to make it sound full at the end. A little more complex. With fingerstyle, I can keep a bass note going with my thumb and then use my fingers for something else. Let's do the same thing, kind of a combination of the two. I'm going to use the D bass note now. And a D chord. So at the very end, I went off of the pedal tone, and I want you to hear the contrast. When you make a pedal tone, you kind of tend to anticipate that note, and then when you go off of it, it sort of adds some interest. So I like that effect. I'm playing the same bass note throughout. And here's where I went off. I changed to a C bass note, a G. And it has more effect than just playing separate bass notes for every chord. It sort of has a little more dramatic effect. And finally, let's go back to the pick. I'll do a little power chord with a bass note. Okay, I was just play the E bass note and power chords on the A and the D string. And then I went to an A chord.